Welcome back, everyone. Today we are going to be doing some different kind of brownies. And we are going out of my hometown cookbook. It was their centennial cookbook back in 1986. Yeah, pretty cool graphics there. We are going to be actually doing two separate recipes because I found a very easy recipe for what's called a chocolate cherry bar. And it looks so easy. Watch me mess it up, but it looks so easy. And then it says to frost on it, but we don't have, there's no recipe for frosting. So I found another really easy recipe for frosting. Chocolate cherry bar is... The recipe is from Barbara Anderson. Shout out to her. And then the chocolate frosting is from Carol Ritterman. It looks super easy, so I'm going to give it a try, and I hope the two go together really well. What we are going to need for the chocolate cherry bar is, it wants a box of chocolate fudge cake mix, and I couldn't find that. So I got a box of devil food cake. Hopefully it works out the same. And then also I want 1 can of cherry pie mix, 2 eggs, and then a teaspoon of almond extract. That's it. Mix it together, and then we bake it. And it says in the jelly roll pan. I'm guessing that's just like a cookie pan. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm hoping it's what I'm thinking because that's what I'm going to pour it in. And then 350 for 30 minutes. Simple enough, I hope. So the directions just say to mix everything together, so I'm just going to dump it all in and then mix it. It's probably going to take a minute, if that. So here is the cake mix. And then dump that can in here. Right? That's what it says to do. Yeah, cool. I love cherries. 2 eggs. 1, 2. Then a teaspoon of almond extract, and I also love almond extract. So there's a teaspoon. Oh, I love that smell. And it says to mix it with a mixer, but I don't want to. Okay, now I'm gonna mix it. It's gonna be a thick boy. I don't want to taste it. That's pretty freaking good. That tastes so good. Oh my god. And then pour it in a jelly roll pan. This is what I think a jelly roll pan is. That's what I'm gonna go with because I know there's I mean that's what I'm gonna go with. I have no idea what I'm talking about. In a greased jelly roll pan. Greased. Do we want butter or do we want... I think we want butter. If I had parchment paper, I would put parchment paper down, but I actually don't, I don't think. So if I had that, I honestly would put that down. Like I would butter it and then put the parchment paper down. And then maybe even butter the parchment paper and then put the cake mix on here. But I don't have parchment paper, so I'm gonna butter it, maybe flour it, and hopefully that works. I think that, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I actually just take a paper towel and I put some butter on it and then I go over it here. And I'm actually just gonna take a spoonful of flour and then sprinkle that on here and then just make sure everything's coated with make sure the whole pan is coated with the flour. And then what you do is you go over the sink and you kind of just bat it. I can kind of show you here. And make sure the whole thing is covered with the flour. And this just helps it from not sticking. And then it comes out just nice and coated with that flour. I'm gonna pour it in. Yeah, it's thick. So I got it spread out. That's how it looks. I hope it rises because it's very thin on here. But we'll just find out. So I'm going to put it in for 25 to 30 minutes. At 350. If you get a bite of that almond in there, so good at chocolate. This tastes so freaking good. This tastes so good. The bars, I guess that's what we're gonna call them. I took them out at about 22 minutes. It said 25 to 30, but like I checked it at like 15 minutes and it looked done, but I didn't put a toothpick in because it was like 10 minutes away from when like the lowest time is what they said. But I did put a toothpick in at 22 and they came out completely fine. So I'm not quite sure, maybe It needs less than 22. They don't look burnt at all. Here is kind of what it looks like. It's very uneven, so I think frosting is going to be a little difficult. It's going to be messy. It's going to be fun. So yeah, I'm going to start the frosting. I'm going to do it on the stovetop here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the 1/4 cup of cream, the 1/2 stick of butter, and a cup of sugar. I'm going to mix that together and bring it to a boil. And then the directions say make sure you're stirring it constantly. And then right after it comes to a boil, you're going to add the 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. And then stir that just occasionally because you do want the chips to melt, so you don't need to keep stirring and stirring and stirring it. So here is the cream, butter, and sugar together. We're supposed to stir this constantly. And then once this comes to a boil, we're going to take it off the stove and then add the chocolate. So I'm going to put this on high on the stove and keep stirring it until it comes to a boil. Okay, so I took it off the stove when it came to a boil. I'm going to pour in the 1/2 cup. And then this just said stirring occasionally, so I'm just going to let it sit for a little bit and then stir it and then let it sit. So I'm just going to pour this. And try to spread it out as best I can. I think it's gonna get pretty sloppy. Okay, so for future reference on anyone doing this, you're gonna need 2 batches of the frosting, which makes sense. The frosting is probably meant for a 9x13 pan, you know, not this, but I mean the frosting turned out pretty good actually if you want just like cake frosting. Oh, that's good. This frosting, oh my god, it's creamy. Oh my god, this is good frosting. It came out pretty nice. It's very fluffy, it's very cakey. It's not a bar, it's more of a cake that's flattened. Oh, but look at, you can see some of the cherry in there. But the frosting was super good. The cherries in there, super juicy when you bit into them, but like not overpowering. The cake itself is very cakey. I was kind of thinking it'd turn more into like a bar, like not as fluffy. It's still pretty good. I wouldn't call it a bar. I would probably call it a cake. Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good. And this frosting is so good. It's creamy. And I'm surprised just because it was so easy to make. It was, guys, it was literally a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cream, not milk, cream, 1/4 cup of butter or 1/2 stick of butter. And you boil it, take it off, and you add 1/2 cup of chocolate chips, and that's it. Like, that was it. That's it. I'm so amazed. It was so good. Yeah, it's pretty good. But yeah, thanks for coming back. Subscribe, comment, like, follow. Thanks. Bye.